Yo, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Chisha Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Woman on TikTok is calling this time where women are initiating divorce left and right. The Great Divorce. Not only is she calling it the Great Divorce, she's happy about it and excited. Her and the women who congregate on TikTok. If you guys don't know, that's like headquarters for divorced women who give each other tips and encourage each other to initiate divorce and are unhappy in relationships and marriage. TikTok is where they meet to discuss on how they'll continue to break apart families. Don't believe me? Check it out for yourself. Let's get it.
Here are my predictions for the future of cishet relationships over the next 20 years. History will look back on this period of time from probably 2020 to 2025, but maybe even to 2030, and they're going to refer to it as the Great Divorce or something like that. Maybe the relationship realignment, but the Great Divorce is catchier. We're not only going to see an unparalleled spike in divorces, but we're going to see an unparalleled drop in marriages, particularly remarriages, which are going to fall off a cliff deeper than the Grand Canyon. Right now, cishet men and women are starting this game of chicken, so to speak. As women are just now contending with their unhappiness in long-term relationships, men are right now doubling down. They're trying to call our bluff. They're trying to say, listen, I hear you asking for something different, but you've always complied in the past. So if we just hold the line, if we hold firm, you'll comply this time as well. But what they're missing is that this time is different. This time you have a bunch of women communicating with each other and figuring out for the first time that their unhappiness within heterosexual relationships, particularly marriage, is a feature, not a bug. And the only reason we're realizing this is because we're talking to one another. Most of us have spent our entire lives being like, I'm just buggy. Either there's something about me that's not good at relationships, or there's something about the men that I pick. I've got a buggy picker, or, I just don't have the capacity to be happy in relationships. It's a me problem, right? But because of social media and TikTok in particular, we're all comparing notes. And for the first time, we're getting this freedom because we're like, I'm not buggy. It's not me. I'm not bad at relationships. The system that we have set up for romantic relationships is just a bad system.
So because she's saying it, not me, guys. They go online and they all realize that they're all divorcing their husbands. Now that somehow brings comfort to the fact that, hey, we can't possibly be the problem. You ever try to get a woman to apologize to you? Like, just imagine 1 million of them on an app, right? Who all believe they're not the problem. Right? It's difficult enough to get one woman to admit she's wrong. Millions gathering together, validating each other's delusion.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
Women.
Let's keep listening.
It's a system that was designed for men in times when we didn't have our own economic freedom. And now that's changing, and we want to change the system. Now, most men right now are still holding the line because they think that we're going to come around. They think that if they hold out long enough that, we'll abandon our own loneliness to be with them. What they fail to understand is we're getting the ick. It's a permanent shift within us as to the way that we view romantic relationships and men in general. We're not going to have to rationally convince ourselves to stay away from those men despite really wanting to be with them. No, we're actually not wanting to be with those men, right? Men will eventually fall like dominoes over a very long period of time. The first group is already falling. These are the men who are in love with their wives and who are generally open-minded, liberal men who are listening to this conversation women are having and who are already on it, who are already changing in order to save their marriages or relationships.
When you have the number of sexless men tripling within the past decades, you have people who are encouraging men to be emotional and not be stoic and control their emotions. And you have this agenda to feminize a whole group of men and divorce laws that are set up to disadvantage men. It's interesting to me that people can look at that and see only positive things and not think of the potentially very horrible things that can come out of this. From lack of families, men who are more prone to violence because they weren't raised up with the father figure who can teach them, right, how to control themselves. It will get bad. When you hear this divorced woman talk, she's like, oh yeah, they're all going to realize that they're wrong. And what's the system? That men are going to turn around and what's the system that's going to be in place to turn men into women, which is what essentially they want them to be. Let's keep listening.
The second group that will fall are going to be the men who were left by a woman because of these issues, and in their grief and their pain, they will contend with this reality. The group that will fall next are the men who cannot contend with their own loneliness anymore and are willing to try anything, including changing the way they approach relationships. The last group of men, which may be decades down the road, are the men who will have no spaces anymore to go and complain about being a victim, because all of those spaces are now going to be filled with men who are like, nah, man, it's an us problem. Then together, we will rewrite relationships.
So in the future, no more coffee pods. So listen, guys. So you got to support, man. You guys got to become members. You guys got to support these channels because you see the plan, man. The plan is to get rid of all spaces where men could go and talk so that you have the Derek Jacksons and whoever else wants to pander to women and say, no, man, we're the problem. It's us. We are the problem. Let's check out a few of these comments, see what the people have to say. First comment here says, filed just a few weeks ago. So this woman just initiated divorce. So they go on TikTok to celebrate. Another comment here says, I'm very happy in my marriage, but we're not having kids and my husband contributes equally. He does all the cooking and we split the household chores. And sounds like she's got a good marriage there going on based on what she wants and what her and her husband are looking for. And a woman responded back to that and said, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. So they're mad that somebody brought in some positivity here. Here's another comment that says, my question is, what are the women going to do to change this narrative in dating? Because it seems like you blame men and you are super excited. Yeah, you guys see the excitement in her. Like, wow, their families are being ruined. Divorce is at an all-time high. People don't trust each other anymore for relationships. This is going just the way we planned it, and it could only result in positivity, which I think is just crazy. Another comment here says, got a divorce, have zero interest in getting married again, and men in general are making it hard to date them in the first place. The laughing emoji, especially since, I don't know, it cut off there. Here's another comment that says, yes, I agree, and will also add an increase in LAT, living apart together relationships, if we even do a relationship. The creator responded back and says, yes, didn't have time to go into that, but I think that is the major part of the realignment coming. Another comment says, I had a guy tell me that fewer men are seeking relationships because of misandry. I was like, no, honey, it's because of misogyny. I've said plenty of times that I don't know if marriage will exist in the future. And in place of that, who knows what's coming. But I think one of the things that may throw a wrench in this whole idea that men are just going to conform. And I think once they do something like make prostitution legal, whether, there's more issues with that. But if that happens, a lot of guys really won't see a reason for getting married to women. And why is that? Because if you have a bunch of women who aren't pleasant, and they don't think they have to do anything for a man and think men are the problem. And the idea of being in a relationship with a man and serving that man, cooking for him, right? Doing the things that men actually find attractive is repulsive to the average modern day woman. Well, what's the reason he'll want to be with the woman other than what's between her legs, right? Another comment here says, better to be alone by yourself than lonely in relationships. Here's another comment that reads, not to mention the counseling we were getting was all oriented to teaching us to tolerate. Somebody else responded back to that and says, instead of expecting him to know, make a list of housework you want help with. No thanks. Another comment here says, as a therapist, yes. And somebody else here added, the Golden Girls had it right. Another comment says, once I got divorced, I decided I never ever want to be married again. Here's another comment that reads, they think that growing old with cats is an insult when in reality it's goals. Here's another comment that reads, I've recently separated and I've just got a kitten and I'm so content. Wow, what a surprise. Another woman here added, they've overplayed their hand. No reason to keep playing the game when your playmate tosses the whole board in a tantrum every time you're winning. Another woman here added, I tell my friend we are all going to end up living with other moms raising up kids together in peace with gardens. So women who cannot get along with each other, unless if they're separated by miles of Wi-Fi, think that they're all going to get in a garden together, and they're not gonna burn down the whole place. Here's another comment from another woman that says, TikTok saved me from spiraling after my divorce in 2019. Saved me. The advice and validation I got from this app. Chef's kiss, she says. And the creator responded and said, same. Here's another comment that says, I'm on trend. Got a divorce and not marrying my current partner, she says. Yeah. This is why, man, if you're a guy out here who's not consuming content like this and you think you want marriage, and you think that person is coming in with the mindset of you as a man are a good man, and you don't understand that there are women out here who weren't set up to thrive in long-lasting relationships, and you're in trouble, man. Every man today needs to drink coffee. They need to drink the coffee. They need to understand the truth, because this is insane. Listen, as always, I'm curious, what do you guys think? Leave your comments down below. I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of The Coffee Pod. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.